Ring of Combat lightweight title challenger Dylan Mantello. He's fighting this Friday at Ring of Combat 74 at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. Huge fight for the lightweight title. But before we get into that, we got to ask, you're a big LSU guy. What do you think of Coach O getting let go?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know what? He won the national championship 2 years ago. I think he's a great coach. I think the players love him. They decided to move on. I think it's probably the right decision. So, we're looking for next season, hopefully, secure a new head coach and just move on and send Coach O out the right way. But, LSU's in my heart for sure. I'm a big Tigers fan, proud of the alma mater. So I'm glad we got to get one national championship out of him. He's a local guy there too. So it means a lot to him, I think. So, hopefully it's an amicable part and, we keep moving on to national championships.
Yeah, I mean, last three coaches to be there have all won a national championship. So who's to say the next guy won't too? But what I think is cool about you in terms of your fighting career is you were 6-0 as an amateur, and now you're 4-0 as a pro. So has the transition been as seamless as it looks on paper, or do you kind of still feel the difference when you're in there in those professional bouts?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's just so much work and so much, so many stories behind each of those fights that when you look on a piece of paper, it just says 10-0, so it's funny to see that. But, it's been a good career. I think that our coaches at Sarah Longo and Law MMA, they do a good job of getting guys prepared for whatever level they're at and whatever level they want to get to. So, I kind of joined MMA a little bit later too. I was doing sports my whole life, football in high school, and I wrestled when I was a lot, younger. So I've always been in athletics. And I think that, once I made the transition to say that this is something that I really want to do and I want to compete, especially professionally. When I did fight amateur, I think I was a few steps ahead of a lot of those guys. I had some tough fights because they had to match me up with some tough guys. But I think I was ready when I hit the ground running. I think that's actually a good thing for a lot of guys because I think some younger guys maybe get thrown to the wolves a little too soon and they get their body used up before they're really in their prime. So, it's maybe a good idea to hold off and build as many skills as you can before you really put your body through the fire in competition like that.
Yeah, that definitely makes a ton of sense. So you are undefeated, 4-0 as a pro. You hear a lot of fighters, even at, from the amateur ranks to the highest levels, saying like they always talk about there's this added pressure when you have that 0 in the loss column. Do you feel that, or is it kind of just like, a fight's a fight? Because I feel like on the one hand, it's like you're not trying to lose anyway, so there shouldn't be any added pressure. But at the same time, you've never tasted it. Is there that added pressure?
Good question. I think, it's tough to say. I personally, I put enough pressure on myself in every fight where, I'm doing every single possible thing that I can to prevent myself from losing. So, I try to take it as a positive. I think that having a O next to your name and being undefeated should serve as an inspiration. Because, when you have an undefeated fighter, you don't know what the ceiling is. You see somebody with 2 losses, 1 loss, you say, oh, well, that's the way to beat him. Nobody's figured out a way to beat me yet. And, that may be inspiring to other people and it's an inspiration to myself as well. So I look at it as a positive. I try to, I'm a pessimist by nature. So I kind of look on the dark side of things a lot of times, but Coach Ray Longo has definitely helped me kind of flip the script on that and try to turn those things into a positive, for me. So I'm excited for the future. I think that this is going to be my first professional world title fight. So, I'm going to be 5-0 professionally. Contender Series usually looks at guys 5-0, 6-0. So, I'm excited for the future because I think sky's the limit.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned Ray Longo, the Sarah Longo team. It seems like pretty much every person in that stable is on this card in some capacity. James Gonzalez, Dennis Buzukja, yourself. So like, what's the dynamic been like in the gym with just so many people fighting on the same card?
Yeah, I mean, Law MMA is just, it doesn't have a lot of glitz and glamour. It's just 4 walls. There's some punching bags on the wall, and there's a bunch of posters up there. A bunch of posters up on the wall of guys that have fought, at the highest level in the UFC. So it's really a fighter's gym. There's so many fighters in the gym that are, all coming up at the same level here. Obviously we have Aljamain Sterling and Aya Quinta and all these different guys that are, in the UFC, Matt Favola, different guys like that. that are, maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of a lot of the guys, but we have a young crop of guys coming up right now where they're all kind of reaching their peak, and, we're fighting consistently. So the energy in the gym is just consistent hard work, consistent hard work. And if we're not getting ready for a fight ourselves, we have teammates that are getting ready for a fight, and it's a family atmosphere there. So if one of our guys is going into a fight, we're all in there working for him too. So, you always like to increase the intensity for your own training camp, but year round, it's a grind because, we all grind together and we all shine together,
Yeah. And I think, definitely in terms of Serra-Longo, you see it with Aljamain Sterling and Marab, how those guys are just such animals. And it seems to show. What's that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot Marab in that conversation. He's the guy. He's the heart and soul of the whole team. So,
oh, no doubt. Coming off a huge win, but you see those guys just make each other so much better. Like, you can see the effects in the cage. So it's great that you guys have that young crop to kind of give each other the same effect. But I'm a huge fan of all you guys, Matt, Sarah, Ray, Longo, from the young, up and coming crop to the established vets. Like, I feel like you all have that Long Island, New York, just crazy passion and energy. Like you see in the UFC fights, Matt, Sarah fucking screaming in the corner. Like, what's an average day like in there? Is there that much passion day in and day out in the gym?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of intensity in the gym because there's usually somebody getting ready for a fight, and we take it very seriously. We take our trade very seriously, where if we're getting ready for a fight, it's serious business, and it's all hands on deck from everybody. But Ray is actually kind of a quiet guy. Normally he's intense when you do talk to him. He's kind of a quiet guy other than that, though. So I remember the first few fights that I went to, or that he cornered me, I saw a whole nother side of Ray. I got to know him personally, and he's been a main mentor of mine now, but I got to see him in, cage side, and he's, fucking screaming, breaking fucking arm with that kick and shit, So you got to see him kind of release the governor on his emotions, because he tries to keep it all under control, but there's a lot of passion there, and he cares a lot about his fighters. And, he concentrates his intensity for when it's fight time. And that's what you're seeing in the corner. He's not like that all the time. Maybe in some sparring sessions, that'll get him going too. But, I think he's really a master of his craft as a coach, where, he has a good idea of where to utilize energy the best ways for his fighters.
Yeah. First off, great Ray Longo impression. That was solid. You can tell you heard that guy scream and get him out. But yeah, this card's in the Tropicana, kind of an more intimate venue. So I'm excited to just hear that guy let it loose in there for sure. But going back to you, you're like you mentioned, undefeated, still in your 20s. You mentioned the Contender Series. So with a win on Friday, you'll be the champ in Ring of Combat, 5-0. So what do you think that does for your future with a win on Friday?
Yeah, like I said, with the 0 next to your name, I think the sky's the limit. I think, I'm a little bit older, but I'm younger in the sport. I have 10 fights, and I think, I don't know, 3 years, maybe 3.5 years. So I'm very active. And like I said, I hit the ground running. As soon as I said, I want to compete, I was ready to go. So, we're looking at Contender Series probably next, maybe, but again, I'm not in any rush. I don't want to be, I want to be, getting the most bang for my buck when I'm in the UFC, because once you're in the UFC, those are all tough fights, and it's all you don't get anybody looking out for you. So you need to be ready. It's like Ray says, when you turn pro, you need to be squared away, and then you get to a new level and you get to the UFC. It's like you got to be squared away to another level where you can really handle yourself with anybody in the world, and that's a high level. So with my size, with my skill set, with my mindset, I think that I am one of the best in the world. And I think that very soon I'll have an opportunity to prove it to myself and prove it to the world.
That's awesome. So last question, Dylan Mantello, Ring Combat 74 this Friday, fighting for the lightweight title. What are we going to see in there?
You're going to see somebody in the cage that brings a very special intensity to a fight. When I'm in there, I go to a very dangerous place. I become a very dangerous person when I'm in there. And, I'm pretty civilized outside the cage, and I'm a family man, and I try to help out my community and try to help out the team. But when I'm in there, it's a different side of me is unleashed, and I get to show my skills and all the hard work. And I anticipate finishing my opponent every single fight. So every minute of every fight, I'm in there to finish the fight. And, my opponent, he's a tough kid. He's got a lot of fights. He's got more fights than me. He's never been finished. He fought up at 170, but I don't think he's going to have enough to handle what I'm going to bring to the cage. And I hope he's prepared because I'm coming to take him out. And that's what the fans want to see. And that's what I do.
That is a hell of a promo right there. Good luck on Friday. I'll be rooting for you, and I'll be down there in the building. So best of luck, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, come say what's up if I see you after the fight for sure.
No problem. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you.
What's up, everyone? I'm here with Ring of Combat featherweight title challenger Dennis Buzukja. He's fighting at Ring of Combat 74 at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. So I was talking yesterday to your teammate Dylan Mantello. He's also fighting on the card. And I wish I asked him this because I've been meaning to ask you and all your teammates this. You guys on social media, you're always posting videos of you always have these goggles on. You're punching this thing with a target. What is that? It looks awesome. You guys are all so good at it. How do you do it?
Yeah. That's actually from the Sports Science Lab in Staten Island. Me and Al go there. So the goggles, it's I think it's called strobe lights, maybe. I forget the exact name. But what it is you could change the difficulties and everything. One eye could be completely black, the other eye could be blinking, or both eyes could be blinking. You could adjust it. And with the lights that we punch the lights and we react to things, it's hand-eye coordination with new stimulus. So, I made an example. My last fight, I got cut in my eyebrow really bad, and I had blood in my eye. Couldn't see out of this eye. And, because of that training, that brain training, I felt way more comfortable in the fight. So that's really what that is. And it's just improving hand-eye coordination and reaction, mind-body connection with new stimulus involved.
Yeah, that's actually great. It ended up coming into be a factor when you got your eye cut. That's because you guys always make that thing look so easy. I know if I was on there, not a single target's getting hit. But
practice makes perfect, man.
You had to pull out of your last fight this summer because you broke your collarbone. So what was the journey back like, and how just relieved are you to finally be past that?
Man, that was really frustrating, to say the least. I broke my collarbone 2 weeks before the fight. Just training. We're in a high, heavy contact sport, so these things happen. But it was just frustrating. I went to Albania for 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. I was just up in the mountains training around it, eating really healthy. So taking that time to go back there, just stay up in the mountains, see my family, go to the beaches and up in the mountains. I was able to reflect and just see how far I've come and how much I have left to do, So it gave me a new fire, it reinvigorated me. So now I'm just happy to be back in there, man, in 2 more days and just take care of business.
That's great. What is the MMA training scene like over there in Albania?
There really isn't. It's a third world country. It's the country's growing now. It's becoming more involved with the Western world, kind of. So, they love it. They love it. There's really no Albanian MMA fighters that have made it big. There's Ilir Latifi, who's a big name, but he's kind of he represents Sweden and Kosovo, but there's none that are from Albania, So it's really Latifi representing, and me and another fighter, Wilson Rajoni, who are I would say some of the leading guys in Albanian MMA. So hopefully we can be an inspiration and get the ball moving over there because we're some killers.
Yeah, for sure. How is that something that's really important to you to be kind of that flagship Albanian fighter? What Khabib is to Dagestan, Dennis Buzukja is to Albania.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. I always say, if I can just inspire one kid to maybe, instead of straying away from drugs, let's say, instead of going from drugs to MMA, if I could just inspire one kid, then everything is worth it. Everything I've ever done is worth it. So it's definitely on my mind a lot.
Yeah, that's great. So your opponent for this fight, Lawrence, he's 6-5 coming off a loss. So you're definitely the favorite coming into this one. But how do you kind of keep yourself grounded and prevent yourself from overlooking him?
He's 7-5, I think, 7-5. Everyone records are deceiving. He lost to good guys. So I know that, like, I got 2 losses. You know, if you look at a guy, maybe there's a guy who's 5-0. He looks at me, he's like, oh, he got 2 losses. So I think records are deceiving, especially in MMA. You know, you could be the best striker in the world, but you have no wrestling. You know what I mean? So I'll never overlook anyone. Every fight I train as hard as I can, and I go every time I step in the octagon, I give it 100%, whether it's Khabib or it's my first amateur fight. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And so you are the main event. Congratulations. I mean, big name, big money main event.
Yeah.
So, but how do you think a 5-round fight, 5-round experience now in the smaller promotions is going to help you down the line in terms of getting that experience in as a younger fighter?
I mean, it's the same thing like as everything else. If you do it, you just get more comfortable and more knowledgeable of different situations. So it's just a matter of stepping in there and just doing the job and then get it out the way now. So when it's like UFC and I'm fighting the best guys in the world, I'll know I've been there before and I know I can keep going if I have to.
No doubt. So I mentioned earlier, talked to Dylan Mantello yesterday. He's also fighting on the card. It seems like pretty much every fighter in your guys' gym is involved in this card in some capacity. Like all you guys, Mantello, yourself, James Gonzalez, each title fight has someone from your gym. So what has the dynamic been like in the gym and in training with so many of your teammates on the same card?
You know, it's a good time to be in the gym as a Cerro Longo fighter right now, like including us on this card. You got Al fighting, you know, Marab was getting ready for his fight. Aljo was getting ready for his fight also. So it's just all like the heavy hitters in the gym. We're all just pushing each other and we're all in like good shape and peak condition. We're all pushing each other. And we also share like the emotions of going through fight camp. So we kind of like, we support each other and we can feed off of each other's energy with that too. So it's a great time to be in the gym and have a fight coming up.
For sure. And speaking of your team, Cerro Longo Law MMA, I feel like Ally Quinta got the ball rolling for all you guys in terms of the real estate game. I see you're doing some of that stuff. Have you gotten involved and do you enjoy that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you know, honestly, so I broke my fibula. I think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think I broke my fibula and I couldn't do anything, you know? So I was just literally getting fat. And he told me, you know, in the meantime, just get your real estate license. It wouldn't hurt. So I did the course and I got it. And yeah, you know, it's actually really cool. I love it. I found my dad a house.
Wow.
So that was fun, you know. Maybe some other Albanians in Staten Island, they told me they might want to get a house. So, you know, if I can find someone something and make them happy and then I'm happy, it's a nice thing. So it's more for fun. I would say fun, but like, I like to do it. So I'm definitely keep going with it.
Yeah, and it's definitely better than sitting around and just nursing your injury. It's definitely a productive.
Yeah, of course.
But so last question, like we said, Ring of Combat 74 at the Tropicana Friday night in Atlantic City. Dennis Buzukja versus Mike Lawrence for the featherweight title. What can we expect out of you on Friday?
You're gonna see the best Dennis Buzukja you've ever seen. I'm finally healthy. I feel great mentally, physically. In the moment, I'm enjoying everything. The weight cut's going great. So you're going to expect to see me dropping bombs, and I'm definitely looking for that first round knockout.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. I'll be in Atlantic City. I'll see you down there. Best of luck on Friday. I'm rooting for you.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you over there.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
man. Take care.